Good morning, everybody. This is Chris from Junk Doctors NJ, and I have a special guest today on our first interview for our podcast for small businesses and junk. So sorry, for small businesses and entrepreneurs. I always got junk removal on the brain. But yes, so this is for us, this is for our group, and this is our first interviewee. Heather from Hezzy Helps, and she's an organizer, and that is so awesome because organizers and junk removal
Work
hand in hand,
hand.
and we could actually help each other. So this is a really good first interview. I'm gonna pass it off to Heather so she can promote her business, and this is what this is all about. This is what I was talking about during the intros leading up to this. Is what I want to do is have everybody from our group, even if you're not from entrepreneurs and small businesses, as long as you're from northern New Jersey, central New Jersey, or even from Jersey, you want to come up here and promote your business free of charge. And that's what we're here to do. Is we're here to help us New Jerseyans, northern, central, south, and primarily we do work in northern and central area. That's where I work at. But this is what this group is all about. And here is Heather.
Hi, so I'm Heather. I'm a professional organizer. My company is actually going to be 2 years old. I've spent 8 years in the military in the Air Force. I spent
Wait a
17
second.
years.
You were in the you were in the Air
Yeah,
Force?
I did 8 years in the Air Force.
What did you do in the Air Force?
I did
Top Gun?
logistics. No, yeah, I was flying planes. No,
Cool. Logistics.
I worked logistics. It was basically kind of like an office job, but like I've always been very, very organized, very like everything had a place. And going through basic training, like it totally taught me, like even more so, like really drilled down on that. So I've always helped friends, family, all that stuff, like move, organize. Like my friends always used to make fun of me. I'd like come to their house and be like, "That coffee mug's not like that book isn't sitting the right way," and they'd be like, "Can you stop?" So I spent 17 years in corporate America. I worked in health insurance. I got my degree, did all that stuff. And I got let go in 2021. And I was like freaking out. I was
Really?
like, oh my God. So one of my best friends, she like absolutely changed my life. She was like, you should be doing your own thing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be a broker. She's like, you don't have to be in insurance. And I was like, oh yeah. So I just kept like thinking about it. Like the seed was planted, and my mom actually made the joke. She was like, "We like to like cook, clean, and organize all that housewife stuff." She's like, "Why don't you do that?" I was like, "What am I going to do? Like hire a housewife?" So I just kept thinking about it more and more, and then I finally came up with like, "Oh my God, I could be an organizer." So I started doing that, and I thought, I was like, I got this. I know what I'm doing.
Sure.
One of the first jobs I went to, I was just like, I walked in and I'm like, oh my God, I have no clue what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, I've been there, so I can imagine.
Yeah. And it's like, you want to put on like, I'm a business owner, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But like, it's scary when you're like really facing with that. So I was actually subcontracting with someone else, and I learned a lot. I learned how I want to do this and how I want to interact with my clients. But I also like just the important stuff of like, one of my friends said, like, one of the most priceless things you can learn when working with somebody else is the things you don't want to know, or the things you don't want to do. Like everything you're learning not to do that you would never do, or you would never say this, you would never treat someone that way. Like it's so like, it's priceless. So I've actually been like on my own since May of last summer.
Yes.
And it's terrifying, but I love this. You know
That's
what I mean?
good, but that's great because it sounds like you found your niche, like something that you
Totally.
enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I could totally relate. When I first got into junk removal and junk removal and clean outs, we would clean out garages and all this stuff, attics, house clean outs. But when I first did my first hoarding job with one of my business partners, and my business partner was just like, let's just get at it, but I was overwhelmed. I was like, whoa, this is a lot of stuff
totally
for us we had to bag it up, and and you do get used to it. But this is an interesting topic that we're talking about, because obviously we live in a time now, like and especially here where we live in this part of the country, the northeastern corridor, is very busy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jobs here. People forget to clean up, or they can't organize,
Yeah,
they don't have
life
time,
gets
life
away,
gets in
like
their
who,
way.
I mean, you work all day, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like who wants to go home and clean or organize or like, I want to like rearrange my closet. Like no one wants to do that on like a bright, beautiful like Saturday. It's like, so it's nice to be able to like recognize like, if you can help people, I can help you do that. You know what I mean? Because it's like, again, I don't want to do it in my free time and I do this for a living.
And do you help, like, do you work with like a lot of different clientele? Are they usually like a certain type of age, or is it target market, or is it
it's
varies?
I've run the gambit. You know what I mean? Like I've had like elderly people, I've had people that are disabled that can't really get around.
Yes.
I've had perfectly healthy, couples that like, they're working from home. So it's like they'll kind of, give me direction as far as what I'm doing and help out when they can. But it's, it just depends person to person. So, and I love that I am able to help such a, a diverse dynamic of like
That's
so many
good.
people. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I know there is a market for that. Is it a competitive market? Is there like a lot of other organizers?
There are definitely. And what's funny, what I try to bring to the table is like, I really want to make it personal. I can come into your home and I can be like, all right, this needs to go here. This needs to go here. This, like, I can put anything I want in your house and make it, put whatever system in place I want to put in place. But at the end of the day, when I leave and you are in your home, it's like, if what I did doesn't work for you, why are you going to work for me? Why are you going to work with me?
So again? It sounds like you sit down with the customer, you find out, specifics of what you want to do.
Yeah, and that's one of the first questions I always ask, like, what's your project? What's your goal? Like, what do you want to accomplish with it? And sometimes a lot of it's just like, I have an old storage unit. I don't want any of this stuff in there anymore, so I need to get rid of it. But then there's other people like, a family member passed away or they got injured or sick or something. And it's like, it just, something snapped, a switch flipped, and it's like everything just spiraled out of control. So it's so easy to get so overwhelmed with that stuff. And it's like, sometimes it just takes someone with a fresh perspective coming in. And again, like I don't want to come in and change your entire life the way I think it should be. I want you to tell me how you want your home to be, how you want it to function. Like what's the end result? Like, how can I help you, get to a point where you're comfortable and you're able to relax in your own home.
That's really cool. I like that. I've heard of organizers, and I mean, at this point, I don't need one, but I know a lot of people that do need organizers. After we do junk, well, the thing is, like, after we do junk removal, a lot of times, especially with the hoarders, like we've done in the past, they need somebody to come in and maybe help them, or because they're going to rehoard again. Absolutely. And we've seen that. Yeah. And now getting into business and now getting into this part of my just coming up with this idea of networking. And because I've gone to the chambers of commerce, but that takes time. Like, you have to take out time.
It's tough to build relationships.
So I figure, like, let's do a podcast, let's meet people, let's start the Facebook group, because then we could find people like you that do organizing. And that's the whole objective, is like to get together, who does what, so we can recommend
each other, support each other and network
and
each
refer.
Other. Absolutely.
And that's a great thing. Now I know somebody that's go organizing, and you sit down, you get to talk to that person, because I don't like to recommend people I don't know.
Same.
So I have to know that.
Like, someone drops the ball, what I mean? And then they're like, ugh, Chris recommended this person. Yeah. Terribly. People aren't going to forget that. Mm-hmm. So same, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's just like like another business contact or something, or someone that, hey, I do landscaping, can you refer me? It's like, well, okay, but like, I want to sit down and like have a conversation with you, cup of coffee, lunch, whatever. But like, I'm not just like, you're a new business owner. I'm not just gonna like, go throwing your name out there. Like, that's my name and my reputation on the line as well. So it's like, you need that connection important with that person.
This
because
is very
you want
important
to keep your network like flowing,
I don't know if you know yet. Well, you probably see it now. This is more important than ever to get like a face on your business because of technology. Absolutely. Technology is getting to the point where I would say maybe a year or two, bots are going to be talking to bots, and you're not going to know. Okay, you might have an automated system to network better, but nobody has a face to it. So now live content now people could see the people that are running that business.
Absolutely.
And my whole thing is local.
Yes.
You could go with a
Full
franchise if you
local.
want, but a lot of times with big franchises, the care is not there.
You
The
lose
personal
that
touch is
human
not there.
element.
Yeah.
Totally.
You have a big company where it's so many moving parts. We and Junk Doctors NJ made it to the point where, we have more than one truck and we have more than one crew, but we're not at the size. We're big enough to handle big jobs and small jobs, but only for this area.
Yeah.
For northern central New Jersey, we're not like a national company or franchise, which makes us better.
Absolutely.
For this area.
Yeah,
and more affordable.
Yeah, totally.
And I could probably for you too. You're not like the whole entire country.
No.
So you're able to, really. So where do you typically work out of? Do you do the whole northern or?
I've kind of like right now, I've been out in Hunterdon County. I would like to, have more business kind of locally. Like Morris County,
And you're located in Morris County?
Yeah, I'm actually in Parsippany, so
okay.
I'm not far at all. But yeah, I mean, I don't dread commuting like I used to when I worked more of a corporate job.
Sure.
But I kind of like being able to drive a little bit because it's like it gives me time to kind of like get a little hyped up, get myself in the right frame of mind. Like if I'm going into a more extreme type of situation, you know what I mean? It's like you kind of need some time to like, I don't want to say psych yourself up for it, but like it's a lot, and when I work with someone, like I don't want to come in. Like if I come in and I'm like, oh God, you're not going to want to work with me because I'm already judging you and making you feel uncomfortable.
Sure.
And there's a lot of shame that can go with, with hoarding situations, you see.
Yeah.
And I want that person to trust me. Yeah. I want them to feel comfortable with me. And I would never go into a situation and be like, like if I'm walking in snarling and looking terrible, like that's going to make you feel even worse.
Sure.
So it's like, I always kind of crack the joke with a lot of my clients, like you're inviting a total stranger into your home to like rifle through your most personal possessions. And it's like, for me, like, I want you to be comfortable with me. I want you to like me. Like, I don't want to make this a horrible experience. I want you to make it enjoyable. So one, you're going to continue to want to work with me. And two, if you know somebody who's looking for an organizer, you're going to refer me because you trust me and you know me,
Yes. And that's what we offer our clientele. Like if you look at our content, we'll video, but not our clients' faces, and we ask permission, and we're very confidential. We've seen hoarding where it was really embarrassing. But we do deal with a lot of what I deal with mostly in junk removal is people hoarding, and then we have a large segment of people that pass away, and then the houses are given to the family member.
Yes, I always say
now,
there's one
I want to ask you this question, Heather. So when you come across a home and let's say somebody calls you and say, I need organization, is there things that need to be bagged up and just thrown out first? And then, how do you do it
That's how I
by
like
yourself?
to start because and again, I have people just kind of give me direction and I'm off to work, but then I have people that are also working right alongside with me. So, I like to start first with the stuff is garbage, the stuff you want to donate. Get rid of that first. Start there because that's easy. You know what I mean? You start even if it's just you walk into
Do you deal with any Salvation Armies and stuff like that?
I do. I'm big on upcycling, donation stuff. I
Me
do
too.
a lot with Restore Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, the thing that I notice about them, and I'm not trying to say anything negative, but what I personally do here is we have a warehouse next door right here. So on slow days, if a customer calls us up and he or she tells us, hey, we have a bunch of things that we want to get rid of. Some of them are reusable, and the person that our family member that passed away would like to see them reused again. Absolutely. We don't take them to Salvation Army or any of these places because they are very picky on the things that you bring them.
Some of them are getting very
particular. They become very
getting hard.
What we do is that we will store the stuff. We don't have a retail license, plus we're in an industrial area, and we do not want to resell anything. On a slower on a slow day or a daytime that we have, we'll put it on Facebook Market, free stuff to the New Jersey community.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
People come and they get it. Like
Okay.
we've had couches, dressers, TVs, I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
Because I find it very difficult to bring like a brand new mattress and they won't take it at Salvation
And
Army.
there's a lot of stuff, like, I know there's probably, like,
and
again,
some
like,
furniture
you don't know
they
if
won't take.
anybody used it. Like, I understand, like, it's, their mindset. I'm sure they've had some like crazy situations and stuff like that, but it's frustrating for us.
It's frustrating because you're going there to drop it off and then now you can't.
Yeah,
you have to go somewhere else
now I'm stuck with this couch.
In my situation, I'm not. I'll put it in there, and somebody will get it in the weekend. I'll just put it on Facebook. Hey, we have free.
That's
and
awesome.
I talk to the customer like sometimes the customer's like because we charge by volume, so we don't break this item down. It'll take more room, so they'll tell us. Okay, well, it's old enough that it could go to the dump and you could break it down.
Yeah.
Or if they may say, don't worry, just put it in as is. And if it takes up more room, we'll pay for it. And then you guys donate it. So we get a lot of those circumstances where people want it, donate it. And, I do come across a lot of stuff. And it's not just furniture. It's knickknacks that like umbrellas, brand new.
Totally.
And that goes for free. People, because today inflation is so high, so your average nice umbrella is like $10 or more.
Seriously.
So I have like brand new umbrellas in the plastic. We'll put them all out in our warehouse, and then on like a slow day, if we know it's going to be not that much work, Facebook Market, and people will come here.
And it's stuff you don't like.
They come.
I'm very big on like, I'm not going to tell people like just throw this. Yeah, if something's obviously garbage, it's garbage. But there are a lot of people out there, and like you said, inflation, everything's so expensive right now. Like I'm so big on being able to donate things like clothes, stuff.
There's clothes,
you know what I mean? And it's like
there's
a market for that stuff. And it's like you're like it's another way I think like you're helping and giving back.
I just see like again, like I see the thrift shops, obviously they have to stay in business to keep the stuff going.
Yeah.
And they do sell it cheap. Also, they sell very affordable. But I do have an issue where if I bring some nice furniture and they're like, oh, we have no room. No, we don't want it. So we do have our own system of donating. If you ever come across something like you want donated, you're more than welcome to just leave it in our warehouse. And then,
absolutely.
And we actually sometimes record it for the particular customer, because sometimes they ask it. We tell them like we could record it and send it to you. And they're like, oh yeah, I would love to see that, because they want to see their things living on.
They're helping too. You know what I mean? And that's a big part of like that's a lot of our society is just like consume, like buy stuff, and people get attached to those things. And it's like they want to know if I'm parting with this,
they like it.
I want to know like someone else is getting use of it. And it's like it's so like it is a good feeling, because it is a nice way of giving back and doing something to help another person. Yeah, even if it's just something like a bag of clothes or something. You know what I mean? Like you're giving back in a way, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen it. Believe me, I've given like we'll put all the stuff up, like all the clothes in like a nice pile, and within a weekend, in a few hours, it's gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, we come across like tools. I mean, you name it. If we don't, and the customer, even the customers that they say, hey, you guys keep it or give it away. They don't care. They just want to see it be reused.
And it's easier when it's more of a voluntary, like, okay, I know I can get rid of this. And it's not like someone's making that more of that emotional, like, I really don't want to get rid of this, but you're making me do it type of situation.
I've come across jobs where the person that owns the property and they are the person that's hoarding, we have to use our compassion with them, because there's things that I know for a fact when I'm looking at it, I'm like, I know this is garbage. This is not going to be reused, but they have an emotional attachment. They see it in a different way.
So
do you have to deal with that also?
Absolutely. And it's just one of those things, like, again, to build trust, it's like you just said, like we might see something that's like a receipt, and it's like, oh, this is just garbage, I can throw this out. But it might be attached to an item in that person's house. So to build that trust up, you have to be like, okay, well, this is like, can I get rid of this? Is this garbage? I'm big on just asking questions and keeping them involved and letting them know, like, I'm not here to just like destroy everything you own and get rid of it. Like, I want to help you get to a point where you are comfortable in your home. And it's like, even if it sounds, as like you said, like something so silly, like a piece of paper you think is garbage, if it's not, like, just ask that person. You know what I mean? And like, there's so many times, like, there's, you come across an item and you're like, well, this looks like garbage. And to, like, someone might have given them something, like, and that triggers that memory of that for them. And it's like, even letting them open up and relate to you and tell a story about that person or whatever. Like, there's just so many emotions that go into doing this that I think people really aren't aware of.
Have you ever done a job where you had to rent a dumpster?
I had a client that had rented a dumpster to help,
and that helped you out.
Yeah,
too. Okay.
Totally.
Because I could tell, like, maybe your jobs may be like not 1-day jobs. You may have to be there for a few days.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, but I've also had clients where it's like they use me once for one day to, like, redo a bedroom closet. Cool. And then, like, I never hear from them again.
That's cool, because you're gonna get customers like that. Like, I have customers that get thrown and we don't hear. We have our repeat customers, and then we have customers that just moved or moved out.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. It is a very it definitely fluctuates. But we live in the most densely popular area of New Jersey. Like, it's super dense here. Bergen County is like almost 1 million people live in Bergen County.
It's insane up there. I hate driving. I hate like paralysis.
You have a lot of driving. Like, you have Northern Bergen, like that's like 287.
Absolutely.
Oakland, Franklin Lakes. Then you have like the southern parts of Bergen, where it's next to New York.
Yeah.
But Morris County is also getting populated.
Absolutely.
I even see parts of Sussex that's a lot more people.
Yeah.
Have you been to Phillipsburg lately? You see a lot of development.
I haven't been out there, but I've heard
that's
a lot
of development
like
going on over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's always like new apartment complexes coming out. Like, it's just insane, like how quickly everything's just like exploding and just becoming like more and more populated.
So tell me, how do you get customers? How do you advertise?
I do some advertising. I'm trying to get more using like Facebook, Instagram. Like, I have obviously social media platforms.
You have your
I have a website. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want, you can mention what your website is.
I mean, it's under my my company name. You can look up Hezzy Helps. That's usually the best way. hezzyhelps@gmail.com, hezzyhelps.com, Hezzy Helps on Instagram, on Facebook. So yeah, I'm trying, because what we do is very visual.
Yeah.
And, I've gotten such awesome feedback on like my Instagram posts and stuff, but it's like, that's
what about LinkedIn?
Part of what sells it. I have my LinkedIn as well. Like, that was more like, my previous life. But I'm trying to use it a lot more now. And that's a big hurdle, I guess, is trying to figure out how to use LinkedIn to market my business. Because it is more of like a professional platform. Like, yes, I can promote myself as a business owner and stuff like that. But I want to explore more avenues as far as how I can use it to promote my business and bring in clientele that way.
I just feel like I feel like Instagram is like, casual, come in here, and then Twitter could get a little crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything that's like visual. Like you said, like what we do is visual. So to be able to show that, like the before and afters, that people go crazy for that.
The thing I like about LinkedIn is that you have to have 150 followers, and then you can start putting live stream.
Yeah.
So I'm almost there with that. But like, LinkedIn is like, I think people go to LinkedIn to be more serious.
Totally. Yeah.
So LinkedIn, I feel I've did pretty well. But everything is social media.
Totally.
It's I don't know how old you are, but I'm 43, and you're older than me.
Yeah, I'm 44.
Well, 1 year. Okay. And I remember back in the day when I was, working for companies, they use flyers and
newspaper, the old school stuff like that.
And it doesn't work no more.
And it's tough because it's hard because like there is still that audience out there for that.
I don't know.
But I think it's definitely more like the digital stuff.
If you look at people our age, we grew up in the I grew up in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
So we grew up into like MySpace, Facebook.
Yeah.
And Facebook is our target market because a lot of younger people under 30 are more into other social networks. But people like my target market, I see that they typically use Facebook, Instagram, Messenger. There's a couple other
Yeah.
LinkedIn, but like they're not on TikTok as much
Yeah.
as even though it's getting popular. But it's there's ways to target market your market. And I noticed that Facebook is one of my biggest.
Totally.
And Google is also a big thing. Even though I feel like Google may be getting replaced soon by Bing, and I would definitely recommend.
I was just listening to I can't remember. I think it would. I'm a huge Howard Stern fan, but I think he was talking about like how Google tried to.
They tried to do BART, then everything come out with BART.
Totally like
they're
fell
scrambling.
flat. So
they're
now Bing
scrambling
is
right
kind
now.
of picking up where they left off.
Bing is Microsoft.
Yes.
Microsoft invested first $1 billion to OpenAI, which created ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And then DALL-E 2 or 3. It's a image generator. Like you talk, like you type into the prompt exactly what you want, and like you could say a Picasso style painting of a bird flying, and it will just be that picture, and it's the only picture of that picture.
It's crazy.
And Google, I don't know how Google missed the chance, but Microsoft picked up on OpenAI. If you go on OpenAI, you could set up an account, and you could use. They have a category of things that you can use from their coding, Chat GPT, the playground. Now, if you get Chat GPT Plus, you could put into the prompt exactly anything that you want in the prompt. Like, let's say you have a policy that you want to make, and what you do, you just put it in the prompt. You say, put 20 steps of all these things, and you don't have to put it in order. It will do it. And then it will put it into a template, and you can use Chat GPT or OpenAI's API address, and you could use it with Pictionary. So there's so many things.
I've been hearing a lot of buzz about that.
There's things that are incredible. If your computer like into any type of little bit of software or engineering in it, I mean, John, you were just talking to, he is he's an expert in computer, there's no way to be know it all, but he knows the languages like Python, JavaScript, AppleScript. Now on ChatGPT, you can use it to even write code for you, which back in the day, well, not back in the day, like a few months ago, you would have to write a ton of code, and it would take some time.
It's like an arduous process.
Now it takes it and cuts it in half.
Wow.
And it's like an assistant. It's artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Yes. Totally. And I know that there's like a whole buzz behind
it's huge.
The pros of it, the cons of it.
The cons, I don't know about the cons.
I know there's a lot of people
little setbacks.
Yeah. But a lot of people are saying the artistic stuff, you're taking away from an artist.
I mean, an artist, that's just the image generator.
Yeah.
Now, if an artist is a great artist and he could he would do great paintings.
Yeah.
But if somebody has a visual great mind, they can make art with their mind. And not everybody can make, I've tried to do it, and sometimes it didn't come out the way that I wanted to look. But there's people that are so detailed and it comes out great.
Definitely. Yeah. Not everybody has that ability. I know I don't.
And it's not just GPT, it's not just ChatGPT or DALL-E. It has this other AI generating companies that are doing it.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
The way people do art is going to revolutionize education, the way we do anything. Even with the metaverse, the meta platforms, you go on Oculus and you're in a whole different world.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Wait till all that is sitting there together.
We have a live question. How do you balance the demands of running your business with other aspects of life, like family or personal time?
Wow, that's a pretty complicated question. Well, that all comes down to if you have kids, family members. Who's the question to? Okay, Heather, there you go.
Well, I don't have. I have 2 fur babies. I have a dog and a cat, so I don't have kids. So that is, helpful. I guess.
Yeah,
when
that's
it comes
helpful.
to dealing with that stuff. But, I have family that, and friends and a life and all that stuff. And it's hard because a lot of times I am a new business. I want to succeed. I
Yeah,
have
you're driven.
so many goals and aspirations and things I want to do with
Yes.
this company. And I want to be able, eventually, what I really would like to do is form my own nonprofit to be able to empower other women to know, like, there's really no overhead with doing this. So I would like to eventually, like, form a nonprofit and, like, be able to teach women and give them the tools to learn how to do this, you know, and learn, like, you can own your own business. You don't have to work for somebody else. But
well, that's where it's heading. We're a service industry.
It is,
country.
but it's hard for me. I am a very empathetic person, and I always go above and beyond with my clients. So there are times where it's like, you know, someone will ask me to work on weekends, which I don't typically do, and I'm like, yeah, okay, like, I'll do that. Or it's like, I've had, you know, weeks where I worked like 2-3 weeks days straight, like no days off. So finding that balance is still an adjustment for me, and I'm slowly starting to find it more. But you just always have to keep in the back of your mind, you know, like, you can't pour from an empty vessel. So it's like, if you're working, you're going to exhaust yourself, and then you can't work. So you do have to find, like, that balance. And a lot of it is just like, you know, maybe taking a Tuesday where it's like, I'm not taking any clients. I'm just going to spend the day, like, you know, sitting on the couch, doing nothing, running errands. It's just a matter of, for me, I'm learning as I go. And it's a process, you know what I mean? And again, talking with other business owners about stuff like that and figuring out, like, what do you do when you get exhausted? Like, how do you, you know, if you lose your spark, like, how do you find it again? So I think a lot of it is just, you have to explore. Yeah, tons of coffee. But you have to find yourself, and you have to really be comfortable with yourself and know what your limits are, you know what I mean? And what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. And, you know, just, it's tough to find that balance. Everybody struggles with that. But I think more so as a business owner, because there is so much more weighing on, like, hanging on your shoulders.
What I can say to rebuttal to that question is, all I know, since I've been doing this for years, the beginning of the business, the first year is the most important part of, and the first year, and then coming up on a couple, like your 7th year. But the first year, like, I look at it as a baby. We grew this from, like, the bottom up. Like, when I started junk removal, usually junk removal companies are franchises. They have to get a third party consultant. We didn't do any of that. I knew how to do it by just reading, research, and then the business that I was already in, I had already insight. But what I know is that in the beginning, I worked weekends, 7 days a week. So I understand what you're talking about. I understand what you're talking about, but there is a part where you do need some time off, just to, you know, recharge. And you have to find that somewhere in the scheduling, you know.
It's tough.
Like, for this business, weekends, we do work because that's when people are off, and that's when they're home. So that's,
you want to be flexible. Like, not everybody has the ability to work from home. You know what I mean? And not everybody's like, oh yeah, come over like Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, some people just have weekends available. And again, like, I try to be very flexible with my clients. And, you know, I understand we all have lives. We all have families. We all have situations, jobs, whatever, like, something that, like, you know, it's going to get in the way. And it's like, I try to be as accommodating as I can, but also trying to keep myself and my own needs, you know.
Well, hey, it's whatever works. Like, I know that for me, like, my customers pay me, like, they pay for my, pay for me to live. So
totally.
But what I like about being a business owner is that, you know, I grew it. I have I have like over 5 full-time employees that work. They're out doing, and we try to make it as easy for everybody, like, as far as good communication, software, apps, and then we do a rotation of everybody gets a day off this time. And so once you get into the groove of things, you're gonna get that. Like, obviously, I don't know, like, Sundays, we work Sunday and Saturdays, but during the weekday, there'll be a day off during the weekday, maybe. Sometimes even the employees right now, like, with my employees, they're like, I don't even want a day off. They want to work. They like the overtime.
Which speaks a lot of you and how you treat your employees.
But I do treat my employees really good, because there's incentives.
Makes a huge difference too.
There is incentives there for employees. Like, if you do a certain amount of loads of truckloads, and and there's some money incentives.
Yeah, definitely.
So but that took a while. We were doing it ourselves for like the first 2 years. Even with the carpet cleaning business I had in prior, I was doing that for over 11 years, and it took me like a year or two, but then I had somebody working with me, helpers, and then I understood, and then I worked for somebody to learn the business also.
Absolutely.
So, and then took classes on water. We do water restoration and flood restoration. If there's a flood, we have all that equipment.
That's awesome.
To suck out the water from basements and then humidifiers and whatnot.
Okay.
But it took so long to get out of the driver's seat to put somebody in there, and then you have to train them.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking because it's your, I mean, like, it's your name on the line.
Yeah, your name
it's
is
your
on the
company,
line.
but like you're that face of it.
And you're saying that you're going on your second year, correct?
Yes.
And do you sometimes hire somebody to give you a hand?
I haven't had to yet. I mean, I want to get to that point.
And what I want to know too, so you could tell future customers, how much do you charge by hour?
I charge an hourly fee. I know, like I was saying before, like business wise, I've been struggling with like, should I make my rate higher? Should I, some organizers do hourly minimums. So like they'll be like, you have to book me for 4 hours. I don't do that because I know that, you know what, like, I have my own business. Obviously I want to pay bills and have a life and survive.
Yeah, sure.
But I also want to be able to bring this to people that may not necessarily think it's accessible to them. So I try really hard to like kind of keep that stuff in mind. And, I want to be able to help people and I want to keep it that way. So it's tough to kind of find all that stuff out. But yeah, I charge an hourly fee. I think I'm pretty, from what I'm told, I'm pretty, middle of the road. I charge like $70 an hour, honestly.
That's not bad.
It's not. I mean, I've seen others that charge like $150.
More.
It's tough because
sometimes.
I had a conversation with another business owner I recently networked with, and we were just saying, like, you want to know your value. And you want, you know what you bring to the table as a business owner, and you want to afford that. But like for me, like I want to help people with this. I love
but
this.
you got to make money too.
And it's exactly it. But I'm to the
fair.
point where it is that. So it's like I've worked with people for like an hour, 2 hours, and it's like it may not be a lot of money.
You sound like you're
that
by hearing what you said, I know you're the most affordable person because I know how much it costs to do this.
Absolutely.
And that's a very good price for anybody that's looking for any type of organizational help and whatnot. And now, obviously, you don't offer the bin, so that would be part of like you'll tell the customer you need this.
Absolutely.
Like let's say
I'll take the ride with you to like Home Depot, Lowe's, or wherever to get
what is
stuff.
Like your most organized? Is it like the master bedroom, basements, whole houses?
I've done. Again, I've done like one little closet in someone's bedroom. And then I've, been working situations where I'm literally like, attic to basement, everything in between. I've done outside storage sheds. People have like those, like a sun porch with like storage underneath. I've, cleared that stuff out. Yeah. So I've done pretty much everything.
And do you ever have to use any tools to put up shelves or anything?
Oh yeah. I was never like, not that I'm not handy, but like anytime I would put stuff like that together for myself, like I always put a part wrong or like backwards and then have to take it apart. But I have to say, I'm pretty proud of myself. I've gotten pretty handy when it comes to putting together like storage units or like, bookshelves, whatever. So, and there's people that they don't have the ability to do that or they don't know how to do that. So, to have me come in, like I have people like, oh, do you know like a handyman that can like put this together? Like, I have a handyman, but I'm like, I'm here, you're paying me.
Yeah.
Like, I can do it and I don't mind doing it. So yeah.
And that's upselling. That's good.
Totally.
So from the beginning of when you started till now, have you seen business go up? Or?
I have. It's been ebbing and flowing, which is like terrifying and frustrating. But I just, I'm so passionate about this. I know I am meant to be here. I know I am meant to do this. and I know I'm going to succeed at this. Like, I don't have a doubt in my mind that
This is interesting. I'm picturing your business, like how I would do a business, and I'm thinking like, what am I targeting? Like, who am I targeting? Like, as far as who would need my help the most?
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking people that, and you know, unfortunately, like they lose a loved one, like a husband, and their house is very disarray.
Absolutely.
You could help them.
Yeah.
Like I see, like there is a target of
There
people that
definitely
need
is.
this help.
Or even just working parents. You know what I mean? Like, you work, you take care of kids, like stuff just, it gets so, I have ADD. And I always tell my clients that. So it's like, I get it. Like, I'm able to take my ADD and use my hyperfixation to help you get where you want to be. But in my home, like I was joking around before, I was like, I have like a bookcase in my bedroom. I was like, there's piles of paperwork. There's stuff. My closet looks like something exploded in it. So it's like, I'm not like, you know, this perfect organizer, but it's like, I understand like how it gets away from you and how you don't want to deal with that stuff in your time off. You know what I mean?
You could definitely help a lot of people out.
I'm trying.
There is. I see it every day. Since I've been doing, like, especially in my carpet cleaning days, I've been over thousands of homes, all over from Westfield, New Jersey, all over Livingston, Short Hills, and I've seen homes where and they would just throw the stuff in the closet so I could carpet clean.
Like I just know what to do with it. So
and they have kids and their stuff is everywhere.
Yeah,
I could really like there's definitely a big niche for you.
Most definitely.
To help.
Definitely.
What is your biggest way? What is your biggest way just to get out there and let people know? Hey, do you have cards? Do you have?
I do. Yeah. I mean, like I have business cards. Again, I'm all over social media. I'm super fortunate. A lot of my friends are just like promoting me. You know, a lot of the Facebook pages, like the mom pages.
Yeah, that's the
my
best
friends
ones.
I've gotten so many people reach out to me through that. But it's like, it's tough because it's like a lot of times, like, you know, a wife will be like, or a mom will reach out to me and be like, oh my God, this would be so great. Like, I really want to hire you. And when I talk it over with my husband, and then the husband like doesn't want to spend the money on it.
We get that a lot.
So it's tough. You
know, we get that a lot where people call and they just like, I'm on the phone for half an hour. They're like, well, okay, I have to talk to my, you know, gentleman was, I have to talk to my wife.
Yeah.
I typically tell him like, listen, this is going to be the best thing that you could probably do for your wife. And, you know, and, you know, it is, it's like, you know, people do have to talk with each other, and they do. I think some people are like, oh, we don't need this. We could do it ourselves.
And then it never gets done.
And it's not going to get done. Eventually, they're going to have to call you.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. But it's like, it's tough, you know, like financially, like people are struggling right now. Like everything's expensive.
It is.
And people are trying to figure out like how to make ends meet. So I understand that. Like we can be viewed as, you know, like
not a necessity, right?
Completely
at this
and
moment.
Totally. Yeah. It's like, it's a luxury type of thing. But for a lot of people, you know, that are chronically disorganized, that are hoarders, that really can't control that.
Disability, and they have disabilities. Sometimes
absolutely. Or it's, like there's so many different like facets that can be applied to a situation like that. And it's like, once you get in there, I mean, I'm sure you've experienced it. Once you get in there and you get a space cleared out and you see that person just instantly change. It's amazing.
We have another question. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced when starting your business, and how did you overcome them?
And that's to Heather?
That's Heather.
Nice.
Okay. Ooh. I mean, just again, I have ADD and I have it's kind of like dyslexia, but it's with math. So like with numbers, like they get like messed up. So a lot of this stuff, like I didn't learn about this. I didn't get diagnosed with it till later in life. It was very obvious I had a lot of these things. So with the ADD stuff, it's tough because you can be very overcome by your emotions, you know? So it's like when work is slow and I'm like, oh my God, like how am I going to pay my bills this month? Like, it can really get you down to like a dark place, you know, which is tough. Like you understand that, but a lot of it is just, you need a good support system, you know, and you need other business owners that you can like network with, connect with, you know, just even if you're having a bad day, like someone you can just talk to and get through it. I'm very big on, I've struggled with it a lot, asking for help and leaning on other people, but I'm getting better at that.
No, don't look at it like that in networking, because that's what we're here for.
Totally.
Because
Yeah.
I might call you up and ask you for advice, and then you could call me for advice. So that's what this whole, entrepreneur, small business thing is for. Is that for us?
Yeah.
In this area that we're
Definitely.
working, we work in this,
and again,
area, New
being
Jersey.
a small business owner, we don't learn this stuff when we're in school. You know what I mean? Like, there's no class that teaches you, when you're a freshman in high school, like, here's how to run your own business.
Which would be a lot of interesting.
I wish I knew about this 20 years ago. I wish, because it's terrifying at 44 years old, starting a brand new business and starting from scratch.
And it's your first business?
This is my first business I've ever done. I never would have envisioned myself doing something like this. And I'm so grateful for my friend that pointed me in this direction and helped me get that way. But again, I have a lot of friends that own small businesses, and they've been able to help me with a lot of stuff. So a lot of it is it's educating yourself, knowing yourself, knowing what you want to do, talking to other business owners, especially I've always kind of tried to support small local businesses, but now doing this, I see how important it is. And it's it may cost a little bit more to, not buy something from Amazon, but you're supporting a person and their family. And it's to me, that means more than getting my Twizzlers, with my Prime free delivery. I'd rather go to a little mom and I'm so big on small business, and I try so hard to promote small business. I do it on my Instagram page, local restaurants I go to, friends that own other businesses. I'm so big on promoting, because it's so hard. You know what I mean? And it's so scary. And it's we're not these big multi-billion-dollar corporations. You know what I mean? We don't have stockholders and all this stuff. It's
the budget for marketing.
We have each other. And I think that, small business owners, we need to really rely on each other a lot. And we need to pump each other up and keep each other going.
That's what's my main objective with this,
totally.
This whole group.
Which is what I love.
To work with
each other.
That.
Yeah.
It's very important. You're 100% right. I don't think I want to ask you this other question. Do you do office organization?
Yeah,
too?
I have. Absolutely.
Because I've been in offices where I think especially construction offices where there's paper everywhere.
Yeah, it's just so much
really use a system,
Totally.
Also, I see a change in paper right now. As far as paper, I see more paperless going on.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but there's still always organization for a lot of other things. So.
Absolutely. There's just so many different aspects. Again, I've had someone, I've gone in for a couple of hours and it's their kid's playroom was a mess, and just, reorganizing the toys, donating stuff, or even I spoke to someone earlier, just establishing, even with your kids, establishing patterns with them. You know what I mean? If you have grandparents, they're always buying the kids gifts. You don't have to give them everything at once.
Yeah.
Keep a bin somewhere, or have a closet somewhere, and put those little items in there and get the kids to start recognizing.
Do you label
if you get
stuff
something
also?
new. Oh yeah, totally.
Nice.
But some people want that, some people don't.
Yeah.
Again, it's so. I don't want to make it about me. Yes,
but you have the tools of the trade to do all that stuff.
Totally,
you want.
Totally.
Yeah.
It just depends on what my client wants, because I'm tailoring this experience for you.
Yeah.
I'm not tailoring it for me. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm doing the work, but I want your home to function the way you want it to function. And it's again, me putting my systems in place, that's great. But when I leave and you're what did this chick do to my house? I don't know where anything is. I don't know how any of this works. It's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's ridiculous.
That's why you have to sit down with the customer.
You have to get to know what that person wants. And I've worked with some clients that have worked with other organizers, and they're this person's terrible. They made me get rid of things I didn't want to get rid of.
Do you have repeat customers too?
Most of my clients are repeat customers.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you could build a nice customer base.
Yeah. And it's I have, referrals, obviously I love, but it's having a client tell me, you're family now, I love you, we're friends. That is it's so rewarding.
Awesome.
When you see how you really are making a small impact and, changing someone's life and helping them in ways that they didn't think they could get there. It's a small part, I think, of just, sending a lot of good karma back out into the world, helping people.
Definitely. That's awesome. I mean, if you ever come across like you could use our services if you ever come across something really big and you need all the stuff out before
Yeah,
you
totally,
organize.
totally.
We work.
I have a couple of my clients that I actually referred you guys to that
Yeah.
were like, they were moving or they just had like stuff just accumulated in their home over years. And it was just like, I have an old air conditioner. I don't know how to get rid of that.
Yeah,
so
and we do that.
I've used you guys with a couple of my clients.
We're DP certified we're allowed to use landfill, so we are sanitation, waste removal
What's
company.
funny is when I started doing this, like I knew I needed like a junk removal, kind of to have in my back pocket. But I saw your signs all over the place.
Yeah.
And I kept seeing them everywhere. And I finally I hopped on Google and I looked you guys up and I just kind of like went on your website. I looked over your social media and I was just like, you're close. You're right in Denville. You know what I mean? You're a small business. Like you're not like some franchise, some chain.
Yeah. And
so it was great to like connect like that. Cause again, like you're a small business owner, you know what I mean? Like I want to help you succeed too.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what we're here for too, to help everybody succeed, especially, with your business.
Yeah.
I could definitely work with you and help you out. And there's a lot of opportunities. Like I said, like we do live in a very densely popular area. And like, do you ever do like houses that are in buildings and
I've done like
apartments?
Yeah, I've done. I did a couple in Jersey City, like that area, Jersey City.
Yeah, because I can see over there because they live in very tight.
Yeah, and it's like again, like everybody has so much stuff.
Yeah,
like, you just don't know what to do with it, or it's like this is my aunt's or my mom's, and I don't know what to do. I don't want to get rid of it.
So before you started doing this, before you were doing this, do you enjoy doing this out of everything you've done in life so far?
I love this. My friends always say, they're like, when you talk about work, you light up.
That's cool.
Everybody says that. Like I have found my passion. I love this. I wouldn't trade. You could offer me $1 billion. I would not walk away from this.
Wow.
I love this so much. I love how I get to interact with people, how I get to help people every day.
Sure.
And, taking a lot of my professional background, like the networking, that kind of stuff, just being able to take that and use that for myself now. Like I'll go speak, I get invited to do like some speaking events or I go to a networking thing and it's like, I'll get up there and I'll talk. And it's like, I sit down and I'm like, who was like, was that me up there? Like I've seen myself grow so much from doing this.
Nice.
So for me, like like professionally, it's been like a change, but just personally for myself, like I can't believe the woman I've grown into while I'm doing this. Like it's just been so life altering for me. Like I would never walk away from this. I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I really that's inspirational actually.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel pretty much the same way. I don't think I could go back to working. I used to do metal fabrication.
Okay.
And stuff in that nature. And I worked for companies and I worked for pretty decent companies and yeah, they were good, but it was a 9 to 5 and and
you're making money for someone else.
You're making money for someone else. But some people do enjoy their jobs. Absolutely. And they make good money.
Definitely.
But I feel what you're saying, like some people, there's a different dynamic to people like us that don't, could do things better.
Yeah. I never felt like I fit in. Like I did well in my previous positions, but I just felt like imposter syndrome. Like, what am I doing here? I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, oh my God, someone's going to find me out. But it's like, I guess a lot of that is like the ADD and stuff like that.
Sure.
But it's just, it wasn't my passion.
That's awesome too, that you're open about the ADD.
Yeah.
Because there is, that's very popular. ADD is a big thing.
It's getting more recognition because they're learning more about it. I mean, I've definitely had it my entire life, but I didn't get diagnosed until I was like in my late 30s. Wow. So I got medicated for it. And I was like, I'll never forget, like I was sitting at work one day and I was like, oh my God, like, is this how like people feel every day? Like they feel normal and they can focus and they're not like jumping all over the place. So the medication
worked?
It worked, but I ended up developing a really bad sleeping disorder because of it. So I got off the medication. So now I'm doing it like I'm trying to, obviously adjust my diet, work out,
Mhm.
do more like a holistic approach of it and research it and,
And how does that work for you?
realize like for me, it's working well, and I kind of told everybody, like, I'm off my medication. Like if I get a little squirrely, like, please let me know. But it's just educating myself about it and learning more about it is helping me see it differently and be able to like really thrive with it. You know what I mean? Because it's like there are so many ways you don't fit into like normal society having
Yeah.
ADD and you don't recognize that, but you feel so like cut off and isolated
Yeah,
from
but
it.
it's so weird because so many people that are geniuses that
Have
have ADD,
Yeah, completely and totally.
even Albert Einstein had ADDH
Yeah.
or ADD.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy.
I have a child, that was diagnosed with ADDH,
Yeah.
and they wanted me to medicate him to death and all this stuff. And I said, okay, let me try the medication. And he told me, Dad, I feel like paranoid. I feel stuck. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
you know what?
God.
If you feel like that on that medication, but what I seen a difference was that, yeah, he did sit still, but it was like a robot
But part
kind
of
of
it can
like. And
kills that light in you almost,
then I started researching the stuff that was in it, and it's pretty much old school medication from like the 1940s and 20s that they're
Yeah,
still
kind of like repackaged.
developing, and
Yeah.
they're repackaging. And like you just mentioned, working out, and he does wrestling, working out, and I also believe in the maturity factor too. So
Definitely.
as he got older, you could see a different, more attention.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you know what? Also, Heather, I noticed that ADDH or ADD is going to be super prevalent in the future because everything is instant gratification anyway now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how nobody's. I mean, I do a research on the attention span of people, and they're saying
attention
our
spans are
attention spans have dropped
gone.
like a lot of
Yeah.
seconds.
Well, the human mind wasn't. It's not designed to take in everything we take in a day through our phones.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like however many millions of years ago, it's like you didn't have a smartphone. You weren't being
No,
bombarded
it's
with like
crazy.
information from all over the world every second. Like it's a lot, and
It
it's
is.
overwhelming.
I think it causes sleep problems for
Completely
people
and
because
totally.
people look at
Well,
their
just
phones
even the
in their
lights in your
bed.
phone can mess up like your sleep
Yeah.
patterns. I'm trying to get, find a good balance with like sleep patterns and
No question.
do all that stuff.
Nice.
Another question, and we have 5 minutes.
Okay.
How
Wow.
do you handle difficult or challenging customers, and what strategies do you use to maintain positive relationships with your clients?
And who's that for?
That's for either or.
I could. You want to answer?
You go first. I've been chatting away.
So could you give me a part of that question again?
How do
you handle difficult?
How do you handle difficult or challenging customers, and what strategies do you use to maintain positive relationships with your clients?
Well, the first question, I guess, is a two answer question. So the first one with difficult clients, different, there's always going to be some sort of difficulty, and it could be a array of different things. It could be from miscommunication to I didn't hear that over the phone when you told me that. So I never get upset or angry with a customer because I know there's a reason behind that. And yes, some people can be difficult, and maybe they're doing it on purpose. Maybe they're not doing it on purpose. I mean, but the number one thing to do is keep a cool head because it's not the end of the world. If you cannot come to a conclusion, then obviously, you go your own separate ways, and that's that. But what I try to do my best is talk to the customer and try to fix whatever happened, whatever miscommunication there is, and I will work with them. Maybe it could be over, wait, that price doesn't sound like the price that I was told, which we don't do that over the phone anyway, but I do give them like a rough estimate of how we price. And then I'll work with the customer. Maybe they want a discount, and I'll look at the particular job and I'll do that. Now, the second answer to the second question is we just stay in touch. Sometimes we just keep our customers posted, and not overwhelm them with like spammy messages, but we'll send them maybe an email or something in that nature. And let's say, for example, it's Mrs. Smith, and we said, "Hi, Mrs. Smith. This is Chris from Junk Doctors. Just letting you know this is springtime, and we do have some great specials going on. If you're interested, just give us a call. We're a local junk removal company. We've done work for you in the past. Something in that example, and so that's what I do. I always want to keep a dialogue with my customers, but I do not overwhelm them, because obviously they have a ton of other people that call them and leave them robo messages and all this stuff. I don't do that. I rather just leave a nice personal, like it's from me, and that's pretty much what I do.
I've been fortunate. Again, most of my clients, they've been awesome. I work with amazing people, but I might throw something out and someone's like, I wanted that. But a lot of it, it's a communication, what I mean? And it's just, again, I'm not sitting in an office somewhere, I'm in someone's home. Mm-hmm. So I maintain my relationships with people by just being myself, you know what I mean? And wanting them to know me, wanting them to trust me. I have zero issue forming friendships with my clients. You know what I mean? Last year I did, it's tough. I've been debating doing a mailer type of thing or an email, but I don't always have my clients' email addresses. I have their address. Oh. So I did, I had Christmas cards made up last year, or holiday cards, I should say. But just try to do cutesy little things. Or it's you know what I mean? Because I have more personalized relationships with a lot of these people. I'll send a text, you know what I mean? And I'll just be like, hey, thinking about you. How are you? What's going on? How's it just it's checking in, for me. And it's just I think about it as a business owner, you know what I mean? How would I want someone interacting with me? You know what I mean? How would I want someone to know I care, or if you get upset, I've had people get really emotional, and it's not it's a corporate environment, you know what I mean? I'm in someone's home, and I've had people get really, really emotional, cry, get upset, get mad. And it's you have to see them through it. You know what I mean? You have to be so present there and help them do what they can do to get past that moment so you can move on. Mm-hmm. But it's it's tough, it's you're kind of I'm kind of someone made the joke, you're kind of part therapist. And, in a sense, I really am.
Pretty much what it is.
Because it is it's, when you're working your 9-to-5 job, for the most part, you're not dealing with these highly emotional situations. You're there, you have your reports, you have this, you have that, you get it done. When you're in someone's home and you're going through their personal stuff, that's a whole other layer of getting to know people. And again, I want people to know me. I want them to know they can trust me. And it's, it's so rewarding, to know, when people they may get upset, I've become really great at taking constructive criticism, but that's going to help me grow. You know what I mean? And it's it's learning to separate it. It's not an attack on me, but it's how this person wants me to work for them. So I have to I've had to adjust my mindset, but it's not easy. And but I think again, being your most genuine self and showing up for that person, and having a passion for what you're doing and really wanting to help people,
just doing the best,
makes such a difference.
There's only so much you can do.
Totally.
I really like your personality and your positive vibe. You do have a very good positive drive. I think I talk to a lot of people in businesses and small businesses, and you always hear I want to start my own business, and you could tell people that are serious, and sometimes you could tell people that are not serious, and they're just but I can see that you do have a lot of passion for this.
I really do.
I think as you evolve, you're going to take advantage of software where you could put whatever you need.
Yeah, I need to learn all that stuff, definitely.
And then you could start separating.
I'll be harassing you for help.
But there's software that's so easy to use now.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you're going to evolve into all those things. I'm sure you have your own computer and all that stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
And and this is your second year. How many customers do you think, like, in those 2 years you've
Oh
seen
my
a lot?
gosh. I've had like a good handful. I'd say
Nice.
I've had some people like I've worked with them for a few days. And I have some people that like have been they've been there like since the beginning. I actually
Nice.
have one of my clients who I've become friends with. I recently told her like she was my second client ever, and she was like, "Oh my god!" She's like, "I had no idea. Like, I thought you've been doing this for years." And I'm like, "Well, I have been doing this for years." I was like, "But business wise, like, not really."
And you
So,
find
yeah.
this enjoyable.
I do, yeah. And it's just like, again, like the fact that that was my second client ever, and like totally had no idea that they were my second
I can
client
see
ever.
your
like,
business going into like a big thing. Like I can see like that. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
I can see this business being very versatile into different things. Like you may go into like California closets and have somebody that knows how to do that.
Yeah,
And
totally.
then you tell them, listen, we're going to organize all this. You have I could just see it.
It's
going
really
different
limitless
routes.
potential.
Yeah, I
because
can see
there
a
are
lot
so
of
many ways
scaling.
that and it's like there's so many different directions that I can like kind of put myself into. I really like I actually really like doing more of like the hoarding situations because I just feel like it's so much more rewarding. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And it's like you literally feel the energy in someone's home like change.
Yes.
And it's wild. Like it's so wild. And just to see that person and their energy change, it's like it's beautiful. Like it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I've definitely seen the befores and afters of doing it, and
definitely.
I'm happy that you found something that you like. I
Me
mean,
too.
it took me years myself, like to like finally get to somewhere where I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, it's
You know,
hard.
so-
it's really hard.
so- Yeah, but I feel like I mean, we're doing it now,
Yes,
and
we are.
I mean. It was there when we were in our 20s, but hey, we're in our 40s and we got it now. So.
That's all that matters. Is that 40 is the new 20, right?
Yeah, just like the $100 bill is the new 20.
Yeah. Totally, I agree.
So I guess we'll be wrapping it up. I mean, this was an awesome interview. I really
fantastic.
think
Thank
this
you
was
so much
this
for having
is
me.
yeah. No, I
too.
really appreciate that you showed up, and like I said, we're here if you ever need anything.
Same,
And
absolutely.
participate in the group.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I hope that you've met people on there, and
I just joined the Facebook group recently.
okay.
But I definitely I want to get out there and reach out to different
find people there.
And I'm sure this will help.
Yeah, no, this will. This is something that we want. And if you know anybody that's small business in that group, and you say, hey, I was just on their podcast. It's free. The
absolutely.
The quality is good. You'll see the quality soon because it's obviously live now. So I'm so happy. I mean, I don't even know how to close it out because it's my first interview. It's like my first interview.
I think that's a good closeout, right?
Yeah, it's good. All right. So thank you so much for showing.
Oh my God, it was so awesome.
So
thank
cool.
you so much.
And best of luck for everything that you do.
Thank
and one
you.
more time, your name and
Heather McCarthy, Hezzy Helps.
And how can they reach you?
Website is hezzyhelps.com. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that good stuff.
Yeah,
So,
and if you need it, you need your stuff organized, you got somebody right here.
I'm your girl.
Really good. And she goes beyond,
I do. I try.
So that's the best thing.
Absolutely.
Go local. That's the number one,
Support
and you're
small.
gonna get the best. I'm telling you, you're gonna get the best.
Absolutely.
Local
I agree.
people that have local, they care about their
Completely and
job.
totally.
It's their reputation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you cannot lose. So again, thank you so much for showing up.
Thanks for having me.
And I'll be closing out this live. Thank you. This is Chris from Junk Doctors NJ, North and Central New Jersey's #1 junk removal company. No job is too big or small. And you can find us online at junkdoctorsnj.com. Check out our website. And you guys have a great day. And if anybody that has a small business, or if you're an entrepreneur, give us a call, DM us, and get on up here. Have a nice day.
Bye.
All right.